What's good? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. We're going to get into TNA Impact from October the 2nd, 2025. An okay show for the most part. Next week is Bound for Glory. And the card is shaping up very nicely. I'm very excited with the TNA portion of things. So, like I said in my previous TNA review last week, I said that it's probably going to be like 4 matches that just deals with TNA stuff, and then the rest are going to deal with the NXT TNA invasion. So that's what would make the most sense. Like, you do like 8 matches, and then you can do like 2 matches on the pre-show, which would be a total of 10 matches. So that's fine there. If they even have any matches on the pre-show, I doubt it, because they're going to do the Hall of Fame ceremony. So, there is that. But this episode of TNA was actually okay. It could have been better, but it was okay. So, we're going to go ahead and get into the show. We kicked this show off with Mike Santana. He shows up in the parking lot, and basically, Santana Marella, he tells Mike that he and Trick are forbidden from touching each other outside of a sanctioned wrestling match. And then, if it does happen, the match is thrown out. It's not going to happen. All right, that's fine. Then this leads us into Frankie Kazarian coming out. He basically just says nothing and makes fun of the crowd and everything else. Talks about how he won at Victory Road and how he is better than Steve Maclin and all that jazz. So he talks crap about Trick Williams and everything, saying that the only reason that Trick is champion is because he beat Joe Hendry and not him. So, there is that. So Kalani Jordan came out, and Frankie Kazarian tried to put some doubts in her head, saying that, the Knockouts of TNA are very jealous and spiteful and all that jazz. So Frankie then says that the only reason Trick is champion is because he didn't beat Joe Hendry. He beat Joe Hendry, not him. So Trick shows up saying that he's the emperor of NXT, and Frankie is just the king. Then this pisses off Frankie and all that jazz. Then Matt Hardy came out. He said some stuff. Leon Slater came out and said some stuff. Then basically Santana Marella comes out and makes this the first match of the night, which is a 6-person tag. This was way too long. This took up about a good almost 20 minutes of time. Way too much. Frankie shouldn't have been fucking rambling. I hate when wrestlers do that shit. It's so annoying. When you're doing a promo, know what you're saying, and get in, get out. This segment should have been about at least 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes. Not to be on 10 minutes, because it didn't go anywhere. It didn't lead to anything at all. Nothing. So this leads us into the first match of the night. Mike Santana was on commentary. I forgot to mention that Indy Hartwell. She came out in this thing as well, and she talked some trash to Kalani. But anyway, the team of Leon Slater, Indy Hartwell, and Matt Hardy got the win. Slater hit the Swanton 450 for the 1, 2, 3. So then, during the match, one of the guys, Kazarian shoved Trick and the Mike Santana. Mike and Trick started brawling and everything else, so, it's fine. The match didn't get thrown out. Moving on from that. So Tommy Dreamer cuts a promo about, how TNA is going to whoop NXT's ass and everything else. Who cares about this? I don't care. Why? Because I don't give a shit about Tommy Dreamer. I really don't. I don't. Moving on. So this leads us into the TNA injury report. So Gia Miller, she was taken out and attacked by attacked by Tessa Blanchard in the parking lot. during Victory Road. Ash by Elegance, she's out. There's no details of what really happened and what went down. We don't know if she's pregnant. We don't know if she suffered a severe injury. We don't know, which is odd, but it is what it is. Again, we wish her the best. She broke character when she did this at Victory Road, so obviously this is 10,000% serious. It's just I don't know why TNA wasn't up front with what happened. I mean, unless she wants this to be disclosed and not let the public know, which actually does make sense. So we don't know, but we do wish her the best. Moving on, this leads us into the Angel Warriors. They defeated two jobbers, I guess. So Zaya Brookside and Lee Ying Lee win. So that's fine there. Jordan Hendry was backstage cutting a promo about how he beat Eric Young at Victory Road. But Santino shows up. He interrupted Joe Hendry to let him know that there's going to be a no DQ match next week. All right, whatever. This leads us into Mike Santana. This was a really good vignette. So he sits in a chair in an empty ring. So the Amazing Red, he's there. He cuts a promo about how Mike Santana invited Homicide and Amazing Red to watch him win the title at Slammiversary, only to see him fail, and that that Santana could make everything right by winning the title at BFG. Okay, cool stuff there. Moving on, Nic Nemeth defeats Deaner, a.k.a. the hometown hero. Fuck this shit. Like, seriously. I am so tired of Deaner. I am tired of Deaner. Enough. So Ryan gets involved towards the end of the match. And Deaner got, his mask back. Then Nick hit a super kick into the danger zone for the 1-2-3. Post-match, the Nemeth beat up the hometown man for a brief second. Then Matt Cardona came in to make the save, but Cardona got his ass whooped, which was great, and that was that. Again, I don't care about this shit because I don't care about Deaner. Deaner, Frankie Kazarian, Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and so many others on this roster need to go to fucking Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Get the fuck out of TNA, please. My God, this shit sucks. Why in the hell is Deaner still employed? Same thing with Frankie Kazarian. Move on from these guys. What the hell? This shit is pathetic. Move on from these guys. These guys add nothing to the product. They add nothing to the product. They're useless. They're fucking useless. And that's the problem. Like, TNA's roster is so damn weak, which is why the NXT and TNA partnership works so damn well, because both brands need each other. They're weak. Both brands are actually very weak. The main event scene in TNA is weak. Outside of Mike Santana, the main event scene in NXT is weak as well. I don't get it. Moving on. So Gia Miller, she's backstage. She talked about how she got jumped by Tessa at Victory Road. So Gia says she might not be a wrestler, but she still will beat Tessa within an inch of her life. So this is okay. I kind of wish that Tessa was higher on the card. I don't know why she's not involved in the invasion angle. I really don't understand why she wasn't put in that. Like, that would have been awesome. And I just don't know why Tessa has just taken a major detour. She's not done much of anything this year. Like, she lost to Indy Hartwell, which was pathetic. And from there, she just went all the way downhill. And now she has to work with Gia Miller at Bound for Glory, which makes no sense. Again, I knew this was going to happen anyway. I predicted that this would happen anyway. But why? Like, again, this makes no sense. You could literally do this match on a random episode of TNA Impact, and the result would still remain the same. So I have no idea why this shit happened. Moving on, this leads us into Tasha Steelz versus Alicia Edwards. I didn't watch this match at all because I don't give a fuck about it. Alicia gets the win. Who cares? Tasha Steelz attacked Alicia after the match. And then the system, they stared down the order 4. I don't care about this shit. Moving on. So Tessa, she's backstage with Victoria Crawford. She gets some more backstory for her match with Gia Miller. Tessa Blanchard got Gia into high spots with her trainer, George South, but Gia Miller wasn't cut out for it. So she went to Mike Jackson's school, someone who was nothing but a jobber. Tessa is scared for what she's going to do to Gia Miller at Bound for Glory. And then Tessa also thinks that Gia should just pack up and move on. Good stuff there. I do like that. That was funny. This is great. But again, this is not a good use of Tessa. Tessa, again, should be higher on the card. All right, moving on from that, main event of the evening, the Inspiration, a.k.a. or FKA, the Iconics, Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee. They defeated the Elegance Brand, M and Heather by Elegance. So George Iceman tried to get involved towards the end of the match. He ended up getting ejected, and then this allowed for Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay to hit the Idolizer for the 1-2-3 on M. And so they're now 2-time Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Right decision here. It makes sense. This is smart booking on the part of TNA. It seems like they could be breaking up the Elegance Brand now that Ash is out for an indefinite amount of time. We don't know when she's going to come back at all. We don't know when, which is actually kind of scary. Because Ash was doing good character work. She really was. Her stable was cool. A really good kick-ass stable. Because it was all character-based. And that's why I thoroughly enjoyed it. But, hopefully she gets better. Right decision was made. And it makes perfect sense. Maybe they'll do a rematch at Bound for Glory. Maybe like a 2 out of 3 falls match. The Elegance Brand versus the Inspiration. 2 out of 3 falls. I think that would be good. I don't know, but that's what I would do. Just to kind of end the feud, basically. But TNA this week was okay. I am excited for Bound for Glory next week. It should be good. Hopefully we get some surprises. TNA, for the most part, usually does pretty decent with their go-home show. So hopefully next week they'll have a really good go-home show. And Bound for Glory, like I said, should be a really good event. Hopefully we get some surprises at Bound for Glory. But what did you guys think of TNA? The Iconics winning, smart decision there. We got a bunch of women's matches on this show, too. We got about 3 women's matches on this show. We only got like 1 match for the men. So they're trying to rebuild that Knockouts division. They really are, because that Knockouts division is very, very weak. With Masha, being in her own little world, it's crazy. You could do something with Killer Kelly, but TNA didn't see anything in Killer Kelly for whatever reason, so there is that. But all in all, the show itself was okay. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.